Good morning once again, class. We are going to be learning social studies now, and our topic in social studies is raw materials. What is raw material? Raw materials are those things which can be used to produce other things useful for man. They are in their raw form. You cannot use it in the state they are in. You need to either transform it, package it properly so that it can be useful to man. Raw materials, examples of raw materials are cotton. Cotton is gotten from cotton tree. It's used to make clothes and cotton wool. We have limestone. Limestone is dug up from the ground and it is used to make cement. We also have rubber. Rubber is gotten from rubber plants, and we use rubber to make tires. We have copper. Copper is also an element that is dug up from the ground. We use it to make electrical wire. We have leather. Leather gotten from the skin or the hide of animals. We use it to make shoes, bags, belts, and so on and so forth. We have timber. Timber is wood gotten from trees. We use it to make our wooden doors, our roofing panels, and canoes. Then we have gold. Gold is a solid mineral which we can use to make jewelries like necklaces, earrings, rings, and chains. Then how are raw materials obtained? How do we obtain all these raw materials that I've mentioned here? How do we go about sourcing for these raw materials? We can cut them down. Examples: trees to get timber, cutting rubber trees for rubber too. We can cut trees to get the wood that we need to make our tables and our chairs. You agree with me that that wood that we cut from the tree, we cannot use it the way it is in its raw state. We need to take it to the furniture makers so that they will smoothen it and cut it into little shapes that will help us to make our tables and our chairs, so that when we use them, they will be comfortable for us. They will not be rough. Then we can get raw materials by plugging them. What do we plug? We can plug cotton, we can plug beans, and we can plug maize. We can use our cotton to make cotton balls or cotton wools, cotton buds and cotton wools. We can use our beans to make our baked beans. We can use our maize to make our sweet corn, the packaged food that we have. These are all raw materials that we need in our food processing industry. Then digging them out. We can dig out minerals from the ground like limestone and gold. Limestone, which is useful in the cement industry, and gold is useful in the jewelry industry to make our chains, our wristwatches, our earrings, our rings that we put on our fingers, and so on and so forth. Then drilling them from the ground is another way of getting raw materials. What are the raw materials that we can drill from the ground? We have crude oil. Our crude oil, when it is drilled from the ground, we can use it to make diesel, kerosene, fuel that we use in our cars. It can be broken into different components that will help us in different aspects of our economy. Then we have killing animals to get leather. We can kill animals like cows to get their hide, their skin. We can use the skin of a cow to make a leather bag or a leather belt or a leather belt or anything that is made of leather, or even the decorations we see all around in our houses. Some of them are made of leather. Some of our chairs too that we use in our houses are made of leather. So we can understand that raw materials are very important. They are those things that we cannot use in their natural raw state. We use them to produce other things in the various commercial industries that we have in our country. Thank you very much. Good morning, class, and welcome to another time of learning. Today we are going to be doing English language, and our topic in English language today is countable and uncountable nouns. What did I say? Countable and uncountable nouns. What is a countable noun? Countable nouns are nouns that can be counted. Example: 2 girls, 5 books, 3 houses, 4 sheep, etc. What is an uncountable noun? As the name says, it is uncountable. Uncountable nouns are nouns that we cannot count. They are often nouns of abstract qualities or ideas. Examples of uncountable nouns are water, air, sand, tea, fuel, salt. We cannot use a or an for uncountable noun. We cannot say a water or an air or an sand. A or an cannot be used for uncountable nouns. And we cannot also use numbers to express uncountable nouns. We cannot say 5 sands or 4 waters. Instead, phrases like a lot of can be used to express uncountable noun. A piece of, a pinch of salt, a bit of, a bunch of can also be used to express uncountable nouns. For example, we have a sentence like this. The man gave her a bunch of roses. What is the uncountable noun there? We have a bunch of, that's the uncountable noun there. A bunch of roses. Because you cannot begin to count the roses. So you say a bunch of roses. So we're going to have an assignment here. Underline the uncountable nouns in the sentences below. The first sentence says, can I have a pinch of salt? What is the uncountable noun there? There is a lot of sand on the street. Underline the uncountable noun. There is a lot of pepper in the soup. Underline the uncountable noun there. There is a lot of water in the porridge. Underline the uncountable noun. She had a great deal of education overseas. Underline the uncountable noun. Please do your homework and let your parents snap and send back to me. Thank you for this time. See you next time. Good afternoon, class. Now we're going to be learning CRK, and our topic in CRK is the story of the Good Samaritan. We are all familiar with the story of the Good Samaritan in the Bible, but for the purpose of this class, I'm going to tell the story again. A certain lawyer came to Jesus one day and asked Jesus, how do I know who is my neighbor? And Jesus told him a parable about a man who was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho. There was a man traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho, and the road from Jerusalem to Jericho is a very lonely road, and he was attacked by robbers. The robbers beat him, wounded him a lot, and left him half dead on the road. They stole all his money, took away all his belongings, took away all his clothes, and they made away with it. So along the line, people were passing. The first person to pass by was a priest, and that priest was a Jew. When he saw the wounded man, he didn't even look at him 2 times. What he did was that he crossed to the other side of the road and continued on his way, continued his journey. He hurried up so that nobody would see what he was doing. The next person to come by was the Levite. The Levite did the same thing. The Levite did not stop. He didn't even look at the wounded man on the road 2 times. He just hurriedly passed the place in case if the armed robbers that attacked him were still there, so that they would not attack him too. He hurriedly passed the place and he went on his way. Then the next person to come by was a Samaritan. And the Samaritan noticed that the wounded man was a Jew. And you know that Samaritans and Jews, they don't relate with each other, because the Jews believe that they are the true descendants of Abraham, while the Samaritans are a mixed breed of Jews and other tribes. So they don't like to interact with the Samaritans. But this Samaritan had pity on the Jew. He had compassion for him. He stopped on the way. He used wine and oil to clean his wound. He bandaged the wound, and he put the wounded Jew on his donkey and took him to an inn nearby and asked the innkeeper to take care of him until he returns from his journey. He deposited some money and told them that whatever they spend extra in taking care of the wounded Jew, when he comes back, that he will pay them for it. So that was how the Samaritan left the Jew in the inn and traveled. That's the end of the parable. So Jesus asked the lawyer, out of these 3 people that came by while the wounded man was on the road, who do you think is his neighbor? So from this story, we find out that it is the Samaritan that is the true neighbor. He is the one who went out of his way to help the injured man, to make sure that he doesn't die on the road, to take him to an inn where he will be cared for and taken care of. Do you think that when that Jew recovers, he will not be very thankful to the Samaritan, irrespective of the fact that Jews and Samaritans don't see eye to eye. Of course, he will be thankful to the Samaritan for saving his life, for taking good care of him when he was in need. Now, for our homework, we're going to mention 5 ways we can help people in need in our community. We have different people that are in need in our community. We have beggars, we have orphans, we have sick people. So I need you to mention 5 ways we can help people who are in need in our community. Thank you.